She's the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Ellen Powell. She went to school for computers and it was alright, but working with people is what she really liked, so she changed.
Warning, I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot, but I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Small companies and making them huge, getting great products out for the people to use. Today she does a different kind of work. She makes sure her workplace is fair and diverse. She sees lack of diversity, but at her job now, everyone is included thanks to Ellen Powell. She says, don't let people's opinions affect you. She says, don't let others say what you can or can't do. She's the Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Ellen Powell.
Former Reddit CEO Ellen Powell says Ghislaine Maxwell was rubbing elbows with Silicon Valley's elites in 2011. And Powell believes people suspected Maxwell's ties to child trafficking at the time and didn't care. Maxwell was arrested last week and is awaiting trial for 4 criminal charges related to procuring and transporting minors for illegal sex acts. C60 in oil is a powerful antioxidant that moves through the body like a magnet to attract and neutralize free radicals. Gotta get rid of those radicals. C60 can slow down aging and reduce cell damage. It can also improve the immune system and reduce inflammation naturally. Not bad. If you're interested, check out my link in the description. Nutty. First, how about some background?
Ellen Powell came to our attention for suing Kleiner Perkins, saying that she was opportunities were kept from her because she was a woman. In fact, the jury found opportunities were kept from her because she was a crummy money manager. And now her role as the CEO of Reddit comes to fore, with criticism that the Reddit community has had for some time about her efforts to change the way discussions happen, to perhaps limit things like harassment on Reddit boards. You know, one of the interesting things about Reddit is it really does harken to the early days of the web, the days of the well, for example, when any user could say anything and the community would come together to vet and weigh in on those things and even censor those people who were saying things that they felt to be stupid or whatever. Reddit trying to have more of a corporate role in this and finally deciding to axe Victoria Taylor, who was in charge of herding all of those cats, those people responsible for moderating those boards in Reddit. Those people have, of course, had a lot of fans, and over the course of the weekend, they actually shut down dozens of the discussion groups going on in Reddit, and then this petition shows up with, as you mentioned, over 150,000 people demanding that Powell be removed as CEO.
One woman is taking on gender discrimination in the workplace with a $16 million lawsuit. Ellen Powell says she was denied a promotion because she couldn't break into the boys' club of the tech world.
Boys Club.
But her former company says she just didn't deserve it.
It's time to meet the original OG gangster.
HBO's Silicon Valley is set in a world that feels more like a frat house than a high-stakes corporate jungle.
Yes! 1,000 times yes! Doing it, yeah!
And it was this culture, seemingly glorified on screen, that was under examination when 45-year-old Ellen Powell filed a $16 million gender discrimination suit against her former employer, Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers, a venture capital firm that has backed Google, Twitter, and Amazon.
Powell is a Princeton grad with degrees from Harvard Law and Harvard Business School, jobs in Silicon Valley since 1998, including a stint at venture capital firm Kleiner Perkins that triggered the gender bias lawsuit. So you're at Kleiner Perkins. You're making a lot of money there, right?
Yeah, more than I could spend.
So what's happening there that's upsetting you?
I was getting blocked. I wasn't being invited to meetings.
The company claims it wasn't a boys' club that got Powell fired, but poor performance, a sense of entitlement, and not being a team player. Powell disagrees and claims she didn't make senior partner because she's a woman.
You know, the woman is assumed to be, the assistant or the junior person. And it's just these little things that add up. They call it like the death by 1,000 cuts. And you're just constantly trying to get that equal playing field, but being taken out of it step by step.
She says she was often left out of social engagements, which brought her male colleagues closer. Because as Powell alleges one colleague said, women killed the buzz. Let's talk about those sort of off-hours social activities, like dinners or ski trips or golf outings. Is that where a lot of the business is actually done, where a lot of the relationships are actually built and established? And how does that affect people who are maybe excluded from those activities?
You're forming closer relationships, you're having discussions about business in these different events, and you may be actually resolving problems or getting somebody to say, okay, I want to do this transaction, or I want to have this project move forward.
Her trial played out like a real-life soap opera set in Silicon Valley. The details of her marriage to Wall Street executive Buddy Fletcher were put under a microscope. He sued the board of the Dakota, a Tony, New York City apartment building where John Lennon once lived, for racial discrimination after it didn't approve the purchase of an additional apartment. The board claims it had nothing to do with race, but alleges Fletcher's financial troubles. Fletcher declined comment for Nightline's story. Some have questioned the timing and motivation of your whole case. Your husband was having legal and financial troubles, including a bankruptcy surrounding the hedge fund he ran. Some stories have suggested that he might be the driving force behind this. Others have said he warned you this would ruin your career. How would you describe his role in all this?
I can't talk about the case, and I would rather not talk about my husband.
Former Reddit CEO Ellen Powell has come under fire for a tweet on July 6th saying she had prior knowledge Ghislaine Maxwell trafficked underage girls for sex. The incident occurred when Powell replied to a tweet which read, quote, "I used to be kind of sad that I wasn't ever cool enough to get invited to some parties that people I know were invited to, but now I'm super thankful that I've never accidentally had a photo of me taken with Ghislaine." Ellen K. Powell. She was at the Kleiner holiday party in 2011, but I had no desire to meet her, much less have a photo taken with her. We knew about her supplying underage girls for sex, but I guess that was fine with the quote, cool people who managed the tightly controlled guest list. And an hour later, Ellen K. Powell. To be clear, the press had described her as supplying underage girls for sex, but she had not been charged, so I guess it would be more accurate to say we, quote, suspected versus, quote, knew. Business Insider. Here's who was at the super exclusive Kleiner Perkins party last night, December 8, 2011. Top Silicon Valley VC firm Kleiner Perkins held its annual holiday party last night at the fancy Menlo Circus Club, and a lot of high-profile people were there. With an ex-vice president in the house, even spouses weren't allowed in. The spots were reserved for investors and their portfolio founders. Here are some of the partners and their friends who we saw schmoozing well into the night. Former Vice President of the U.S., Al Gore. Co-founder of Sun Microsystems, Bill Joy. Former Morgan Stanley analyst and current Kleiner partner, Mary Meeker. Former Twitter engineer head, Mike Abbott, who just joined the firm last week. Longtime partners, John Doerr and Brooke Byers, and founding partner, Tom Perkins. Bing Gordon, who joined a couple years ago and led Kleiner's moves into gaming and social. Venture capitalist, Vinod Khosla, economist Laura Tyson, HP chairman Ray Lane, ex-MySpace CEO Owen Van Natta, who just left his role as chief business officer at Zynga last month. Former Hulu CTO Eric Feng, his new company Early is a Kleiner investment. Facebook e-commerce leader Jared Morgenstern. So no spouses allowed, huh? Powell is a lawyer who founded a, quote, diversity consulting nonprofit, according to the National Pulse. She attended the holiday party of Kleiner Perkins, an American venture capital company, in 2011 after joining the firm in 2005 as a corporate attorney. Ghislaine Maxwell and Powell, quote, shared space in the venture capital firm, Courier Daily said, and were working together in 2009 when, quote, Maxwell's alleged partner and co-conspirator Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty for having sex with underage 14-year-old girls. Bloomberg reported Monday, July 6th, that Maxwell was, quote, being held in a federal jail in New York City after being arrested on July 2nd, and was, quote, likely to be formally charged and enter a plea on July 14. When another Twitter user pressed Powell about why she didn't speak out about Maxwell, Powell responded that, quote, what I said made no difference here. Doo-goo. Sorry, but it sounds like you're fine with it too. And she replies, of course I wasn't, but I was a junior partner on the outside of the inner circle. What I said made no difference here, and in many other decisions. Kleiner Perkins is a storied Silicon Valley VC firm that provided early funding to companies including Amazon, Square, Snap, Google, and Twitter. Powell, a former partner at the firm, left in 2012. She later filed a lawsuit alleging that she was fired for complaining about gender discrimination, but lost the case. According to a 2011 Business Insider report, the Kleiner Perkins holiday party that year drew esteemed guests including former Vice President Al Gore, Apple VP of Engineering Mike Abbott, and former HP Chairman Ray Lane. A Kleiner Perkins spokesperson declined to comment. Epstein and Maxwell have had multiple brushes with Silicon Valley's elite, many of whom have since declined knowing the full extent of their alleged crimes. Epstein was known to pursue relationships with tech leaders, business owners, and academics of elite universities. In March 2011, he sat down to dinner with a slate of tech billionaires, including Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Google co-founder Sergey Brin, Yahoo CEO Larissa Mayer, and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Musk was also photographed with Maxwell at an Oscars after-party in 2014. Musk claims that he did not know Maxwell and that she photobombed him at the time. Epstein said in 2018 that he had given advice to Musk. A spokesperson for Musk declined the claim. That's not all. But if you want to know more, I left a link to a playlist below to my Epstein-Musk videos. Epstein also knew Bill Gates, meeting with the psychopath multiple times following Epstein's first conviction for sex crimes in 2008. Gates later said he met with Epstein to try to secure funding from Epstein for his charities, calling it a mistaken judgment. That's not all either. If you want to know more about that one, I left another playlist link below that are my Epstein/Bill Gates videos. Ellen K. Powell's pinned tweet, quote, "If you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else." Toni Morrison, 3/24/2015. I wonder if she could have actually helped free somebody else, because she sure the fuck didn't. Fucking stoned. I got